I mentally just keep singing the line from, I don't even remember what Team 10 song it is, but where that guy, the British guy who's in Team 10 goes, "England is my city." I keep singing it. Like the intro to the song that was used in the Mannequin Challenge by Black Beatles, I think, where they're like, "Black Beatles in the city." I keep singing, "England is my city," because I think it's funny, and you know what, he was right for that. Hello and welcome back to my floor. So today, another briefly short video because I'm in the process of moving and all that. I don't have a ton of time to do things. I've got to get things done. I want to talk about something I've been doing over the last 5 weeks. Other than like wallowing, thinking about my dissertation, finding a place to live. So one of the things I was offered through my university program, which like it's not exclusive to the university and you can do it for free regardless, is something called Inside LVMH. And it's like a certificate you do. It takes like 5 weeks. It's not that hard. So what it is like every week they send you like a little course, and then you do like a couple hours worth of like watching videos and reading things, and then you take a little quiz at the end of each week. And like, to be fair, like week 5 was just like the final quiz to get your certificate. So today I would like to go through it, discuss what I learned, if I think it's worth it, and yeah. So let me pull out my laptop. I've already pre-set up for this today. So, because I thought ahead and I was feeling really lazy and didn't want to film because it's still hot out. It means I have to have my window closed so there's less noise. So I'm just gonna be warm. So yeah, as I said, 5 sessions, but it's really only 4 because the 5th one is just your final quiz. So of the sessions, you get to pick 2 of the 4. Your options are like brand history, retail and customer experience, and operations and supply chain. I did operations and supply chain and retail customer experience because brand history is one where it's just, I felt like I knew enough already that wasn't necessary for me to go through, especially in their fashion sector, which a lot of these ended up focusing on. It covers the entirety of LVMH. I should probably explain what LVMH is. LVMH is a conglomerate owned by, what's his name? It's like Bernard Arnault or something. Yeah, it's Bernard Arnault. He is a French man. He is also the richest man in the world. It is, the LVMH stands specifically for Louis Vuitton, Monet, Hennessy. So it's just kind of like a parent company for a bunch of luxury goods. Like Dior is under them. You have like Champagne. They have a hotel chain. They only have like 70 odd brands or something underneath them, but it's a focus on like looking a little more into how their overall brands work is what it is. So the first week is like very broad overview. You do a course called LVMH and the luxury industry. So you get an overview of both LVMH and the industry, and it's just like they define what luxury is in this, and like they tell you things like their like 6 pillars and like what the company believes in overall. So it's just like promotional things like that, and then at the end you have, and sometimes in the middle, but always at the end you have a 10-question quiz. You get a limited number of tries. You just have to get a 70% to pass it. They're normally very easy, and I'm gonna be honest, people make Quizlets. Did I use any of them? No, but they do. The timing thing is weird for it because sometimes they're like, this should take you 5 hours, and then it doesn't. So yeah, they also focus a lot because they update it as they do them. So right now their big like the focuses they put in that are a little more like relevant to like the moment in a sense is their focus on expanding their Asian markets, specifically their markets in China, and like adapting into and then coming out of the pandemic. So that's the first session. I'm gonna be honest, as someone who just had an interest already, it was a lot of listening to things I had heard before, but if you don't know, then you will probably learn something. The second module they go over is sustainability and luxury and how that works and how it is more than just making sustainable products. It's about your shipping. It's about having initiatives to regrow or like, I guess regrow, but replenish what you use if you use a natural product. And just that entire process and how they focused a lot on like their wine companies and their perfume and clothing companies within this, because those are obviously the easiest ones to talk about sustainability with. But what I found really interesting in this one that I just keep remembering is, I don't know if like me, you really enjoy store window displays. I think they're so fun, and like when they do like really fun and interesting ones, they're really cool. But like within this, they discussed how like within like in-store displays and the store window displays, like that is where a lot of their sustainability takes place, because they don't want to build something that's used for like the 2-3 months it's up and then it's done because we don't need it anymore, it's not relevant. So they like try to do things in their windows and their store layouts that can be used for years. And they also make a really good point to talk about like, while it might not be sustainable in the short term to like make a product, by making a product of a certain quality, it then becomes sustainable in the long term, which I thought was a really good point to make. So like, for example, like a Louis Vuitton like bag, it is made at a quality that like, yes, while leather is a very unsustainable practice, if you're making a good quality object that will last decades, if not generations, it can like counteract some of the bad in the moment of making it, if that makes sense. Again, you got your quizzes and everything at the end. And then we get into the two I selected to do. So operations and supply chain management was just like how they do it. How do you get things places? So it was very interesting. It taught me a lot of things I just didn't know. I don't have a background in retail. I don't have a background in business. But it's just like, this one I had a bit of an issue with just getting through, because what they will do sometimes is they also, through the Inside LVMH platform, offer you like the chance to attend online talks, which is really you just sit on a Zoom call, which is totally fine. But they will just put the Zoom calls then in it. So it's like a 50-minute Zoom call, and then it doesn't go towards anything you're getting quizzed over, so that I found no motivation to watch it, especially when it was like the fifth one in this session that was about like the same subject, and it was just like, but here's how we do it in China instead of in France, or like here's how we do it in the US instead of somewhere else. And it's like, or here's how we do it for this specific company, which is like cool, but after hearing it for like the 7th time, I don't really need to hear it anymore. I understand how supply chains work to an extent. And then the last one I did was retail and customer experience. Here they talk about omni-channel, so being as interactive and helpful online as offline, and making sure all of that is connected. I also learned about their if you order something online from like, it sounded like it was specifically for clothing stores through LVMH, and you have it delivered to your house, it gets delivered by what they call white gloves. So the courier who brings it has to physically give it to you, bring it in, and I believe they also have to help you unpack it should that be required. So that would be like, the two examples they brought up were like very expensive liquors and then like clothing. So like if you needed, like they might be the person who has to take the liquor bottle out of the box or something. But they talked about that, which was interesting, and how you can tie in an online experience to an in-store experience, and there's sometimes a lot of crossover, and you have to be ready to help people in that way. It's also just interesting because like 50% of the people LVMH employs are retail people, which makes sense. But yeah, and then the last one is a 35 question quiz. You have to get I believe also a 70 on it to pass. But the interesting thing about this test is that it is one shot. You get one try to pass it. I passed with a 97. I missed like one question. But also the questions like are not that hard. But yeah, I think I'll just go through my overall thoughts. Overall, very informative, but not like too deep. Again, my only real issue is when you had to watch like you had like multiple hour-long Zoom calls, and then they didn't seem relevant to the rest of the information. Like, it's still interesting to an extent to listen to people talk about that, but like if it's not relevant in this moment, I do not see the reason to have it in there. Do I think it's worth it? It depends, truly. I think if you're someone like me who would like to pursue working in a luxury sector or just have a very big interest in it, it's worth it because it's free. It's not, you're just spending time to do it. But in the end, it's also like, you're not really gaining anything. Like, it's not gonna be like, oh, cool, you completed this, go get a job here now. It's just one of those things where it's like interesting to know, and it's more of if you were to go into specifically an LVMH owned company and you're like, oh, I like did this course and that's what made me interested in your company, that might be helpful. But I think if you don't have any interest in the luxury stuff, and like even for this, it's heavily geared towards their liquors and wines and like clothing, leather goods, watches, perfumes. If you have interest in any other thing, it's not really gonna be interesting probably for you to sit through. But for me and what I plan on doing with the rest of my life, it was worth it. But it might not be worth it to you, and that's okay. Also, it's like 5 weeks. It's maybe 5 hours of your time a week. If you have the time and you're interested, do it. If you're not, don't. Who am I to tell you what to do? But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, but if that's it, I've got nothing else. I doubt next week will be super interesting either because of moving. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed learning about something I've been doing. Yeah, this was fun, I would say, but it's been fine. Yeah, I will see you next time. Okay, bye. Yes, I am aware that last week when I held my hand up, it was like this. I know it wasn't even like a peace sign. I'm so sorry. Like, what do you want me to do, guys? I try. All I do is try. I can't see the footage as it's getting filmed. England is my city.